Have you ever looked up at the sky and just wished you could fly? For thousands of years, that was just a dream. Humans, inspired by birds, sketched fantastical flying machines and built contraptions of wood and feathers. We imagined ourselves soaring through the clouds, free from the bonds of gravity. Early legends are filled with tales of flight, from Icarus with his wax wings to Leonardo da Vinci's intricate designs for ornithopters and flying screws. These early pioneers, these dreamers, often faced failure and ridicule. Their attempts, captured in old sketches and grainy photographs, show a powerful, unyielding desire to conquer the skies. They strapped on wings, launched themselves from towers, and peddled bizarre machines, all in pursuit of a single, audacious goal. While many of these early efforts ended in a harmless tumble or a broken bone, they laid the foundation for one of humanity's greatest achievements. Every failed attempt was a lesson learned, a step forward in a journey that would eventually change our world forever. Then, on a cold, windy day in December 1903, everything changed. On the sandy dunes of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, two bicycle mechanics from Ohio, Wilbur and Orville Wright, made the impossible possible. After years of meticulous research, building gliders, and studying aerodynamics in their own homemade wind tunnel, they were ready. Their machine, the Wright Flyer, was a marvel of spruce, ash, and muslin fabric. It was fragile, powered by a small, custom-built engine, and controlled by a revolutionary system of wing warping. On December 17th, with Orville at the controls, the Flyer lifted off the ground. It stayed airborne for just 12 seconds and traveled only 120 feet, shorter than the wingspan of a modern jumbo jet. But in those 12 seconds, history was made. Humanity was no longer earthbound. That short, sputtering hop was the first controlled, sustained, powered flight. The dream had become a reality. The Wright brothers didn't just fly, they opened the door to the sky, and an entirely new era of human history was about to begin. The spark ignited at Kitty Hawk quickly grew into a roaring flame. The years following the Wright brothers' flight saw an explosion of aviation innovation. The 1920s and 1930s became known as the golden age of aviation. Airplanes were no longer just experimental novelties. They were becoming a part of everyday life. Daring pilots known as barnstormers flew across the country, performing breathtaking stunts and introducing small-town America to the magic of flight. At the same time, a more practical application was taking shape: commercial air travel. Early airliners, like the Ford Trimotor and the Douglas DC-3, began to connect cities. Passengers, dressed in their finest, would bravely board these noisy, unpressurized cabins for a thrilling new experience. Flying was still a luxury, an adventure reserved for the wealthy and the brave, but it was happening. Alongside passenger travel, airmail services began, shrinking the vast distances of continents and delivering letters and packages in days instead of weeks. The sky was no longer just a playground for daredevils. It was becoming a highway, a new frontier for commerce and connection, setting the stage for a truly globalized world. The rapid, almost romantic, progress of the Golden Age took a dramatic and decisive turn with the outbreak of World War II. The demands of conflict accelerated technological development at a pace never seen before. Aviation went from a burgeoning commercial industry to a critical instrument of war. Propeller-driven fighters like the Spitfire, the Mustang, and the Zero became legends, engaging in epic dogfights that decided the fate of nations. Bombers grew larger and more powerful, capable of flying farther and carrying heavier loads. But the most significant leap forward was the dawn of a new kind of power: the jet engine. Developed in secret by engineers in both Germany and Britain, the first jet fighters, such as the Messerschmitt Me 262 and the Gloucester Meteor, screamed through the skies at speeds previously unimaginable. They were faster, could fly higher, and represented a fundamental shift in aircraft design. Although they arrived late in the war, their impact was profound. The roar of the jet engine was the sound of the future. The innovations forged in the crucible of war, from radar and navigation systems to powerful new engines, would soon be repurposed, launching aviation into its next great era. With the end of the war, the powerful jet engine technology was unleashed upon the commercial world, heralding the arrival of the jet age. In the 1950s, the world got smaller, faster. The British de Havilland Comet became the first commercial jetliner, though it was plagued by early design issues. But it was the American Boeing 707 and the Douglas DC-8 that truly revolutionized air travel. Suddenly, crossing the Atlantic was no longer a week-long ocean voyage. It was a journey of just a few hours. The glamour of air travel reached its zenith. Passengers sipped cocktails as they cruised high above the weather at nearly the speed of sound. The world map seemed to shrink. Distant relatives, exotic vacation spots, and international business opportunities were now within reach for a growing middle class. Airports expanded, and the iconic imagery of contrails striping the blue sky became a common sight. This wasn't just a faster way to travel, it was a cultural phenomenon. The jet age connected continents, cultures, and economies in an unprecedented way. It fostered a new sense of global community and made international travel an accessible dream for millions, forever changing how we see our world. From the pioneering days of the jet age, we've soared to incredible new heights. Today's airplanes are the culmination of over a century of innovation, true marvels of modern engineering. So, what's next? If the last century took us from a 12-second hop to a global network, where will the next 100 years take us? The dream of flight is far from over. It's just evolving. The future is pointing towards skies that are even more accessible and integrated into our daily lives. Imagine summoning a flying taxi on your smartphone to bypass city traffic. This concept, known as urban air mobility, is being actively developed by dozens of companies. Fleets of small, quiet, electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, or eVTOLs, could soon be zipping between skyscrapers, revolutionizing urban transport. Beyond our cities, the dream is pushing towards the final frontier. Companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic are turning science fiction into reality, making space tourism a tangible possibility. Soon, ordinary people might be able to experience the thrill of liftoff, the beauty of seeing the Earth from orbit, and the magic of weightlessness. The future of flight is not just about going faster or farther. It's about sustainable, smarter, and more personal ways to fly. From silent electric jets to hypersonic travel and orbital vacations, the unyielding human desire to soar is ready for its next great chapter. The dream continues. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through the history of flight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories of human innovation.